Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the Social Security card and your Social Security number and the bankruptcy cycles in the United States. The United States was a republic for about 7 years. Through the Articles of Confederation, they owed money. They made the Constitution, which is a security instrument, securing the blessings and liberties for the rich people and their posterities. But they took that to the King of England and said, "Hey, will you help pay our debts?" He said, "Yeah, no problem." And at that time, the federal government of the United States lost its sovereignty, and it went into a 70-year bankruptcy cycle. And the states were put up as collateral. The state sovereignty was put up as collateral to secure the debts of the United States, because no one will do business with a country if they're debtors. They won't send you over a boatload of shit from whatever you're selling, and no one will do that because they don't know if they'll ever see their ship back again. So you have to be a person that pays its debt. You go into that. We entered into our fourth 70-year bankruptcy cycle in 1999. But look at your Social Security card. On the front is your name in all capital letters. That's you, right? Wrong. It's not you. It's a corporation. It's a fiction that was set up at your birth through your birth certificate in a trust, and you volunteered that, or your parents did, and gave that to the United States federal government, which is a corporation, a corporate fiction. And you pledged all of your labor as surety for their debts to the international bankers. So that's why on your paycheck they take out the federal income tax. The IRS does, and that goes to the IRS. All of that money is given to the Federal Reserve Bank, or the Federal Reserve Bank, or I can't think of the other one above that, but they collect all that tax money. Every cent of it, every red cent of it, goes to these bankers as interest to money that was lent to a private company known as the United States of America. Okay, so, but what's interesting is since 1999, that was the end of the third international 70-year bankruptcy, and you'll notice every 70-year bankruptcy goes in cycles. And after the first 70-year bankruptcy was up, we had the Civil War. Because the southern states said, "Fuck you, we don't want to pay your debts. We're going to start our own country." It wasn't really about slavery. Slavery was already on the way out through international treaties and everything. Fast forward another 70 years, you get into the 1929 stock market crash. These are all contrived things that happen when the bankruptcy is over. The money is due, and if you don't have the money to pay, then you lose something else. And at the 29 deal, the only thing they had to put up now at this point, because they owed the money, was the sovereignty of you and me, the people. So what they did is that they made a corporation out of you, and so the name you see in all capital letters is not you. It's a fictional corporation, and they took that birth certificate and it's used as collateral to the bankers, the Rothschilds, the King of England, or the British government, and they pledged you, or you actually volunteered for it, and they give you some small privileges and benefits. But in 1933, they took all of the gold out of circulation through House Joint Resolution 192 and gave you Federal Reserve notes. So you had to turn in all the gold and silver, and you got a Federal Reserve note, which is a fiat currency. It's money loaned, it's debt. And when you're born, they set up your birth certificate, and that account goes towards a collateral, and it's worth a certain amount of money. So the banks will loan you a certain amount of money for each birth certificate that you apply. They figure, well, the life throughout the 50 years or how long you're going to work, you're probably going to be worth about this much money to the bankers, and then that money is then loaned to government. And people, you can say what you want, is it good, is it bad, but it just is. It's what it is. But your birth certificate account is set up. It's a bond, and the bond is traded just like anything else on the stock market. And you can research that. But the bond has a number. It's an account. And if you look at the back of your Social Security card, if you have one that's older from 1999 forward, there's a series of red numbers with a letter in front of it. And that's basically the same thing if you look at a $1 bill. They'll have basically the same 8 numbers in a letter. Now the letter corresponds to one of the 12 Federal Reserve banks in the country. So I have an E, and mine is held at the Richmond, or I think the North Carolina Federal Reserve Bank. I could be wrong. I think it's Charlotte. And the numbers after that, that's your account number. Now what you'll find is that the Federal Reserve Bank that holds your account, the letter, now that corresponds with a corresponding routing number. So it's basically a checking account number. If I have all of the routing numbers for every Federal Reserve Bank, so what you could theoretically do is pay all of your bills, because they took all the money out of circulation. There is no money. But they gave you a remedy, which is the ability to discharge all your debts dollar for dollar. They just didn't tell you that. And through the school system, and you're led to believe that this is how the system works, but it's really kind of backwards, because the country is bankrupt. The whole place is owned by international bankers. There is no sovereignty, and you're reduced to a corporate fiction. That's why, but it's all under international maritime law, and there really are no laws. They're just statutes and codes now. But what you can do, and this is really new technology, is you take the routing number. Mine is E, and I have the routing number, and then I have the account number, which is the corresponding numbers after the E, and this is in red on the back of your Social Security. You could hypothetically use that to pay a bill. Like if someone wants an ACH or a check number over the phone, you could use that, and it'll actually work. People are actually using this, and it actually works to pay your bills, pay your house, pay your car, whatever, any bills that you have. So what you would do is you get the routing number, and then the corresponding numbers after the letter on the back of your Social Security card is the actual account number, and you could basically write checks off that. I just wanted to get that out there. You can go on to